Well, good evening, everyone. We're here on a family day, public holiday here in South Africa, and we've had quite an interesting day of different weather, and it's been a very interesting day overall for me. I went from being incredibly fatigued to doing some of my self care, which then ended up boosting my energy levels quite a bit. So I then ended up doing a lot of productive work where a lot of things then made sense. Hey Xander, been a long time. I'll pop you a message. Um, so it went from a very fatigued day where it started off slowly. I was really struggling in my body today. I did a massive meditation last night with Catherine Massell, and it was all about this ascension process that we're going through. And I've had a lot of balancings that I've been doing lately. So there was a lot of shift that I needed to go through, and my body just needed some time to rest this morning. And so I did a gentle procedure on myself today to just bring in more ease and flow in the way that I was bringing in energy and the way that I was receiving energy, which completely shifted my whole day into a space where I could then end up being productive, and my whole body then settled and my whole mind engaged, which was really, really helpful because I had so much to do on my to-do list, right? So self-care is really, really important in that sense. And I'm not just talking about the self-care where I'm teaching self-care, because if you've seen my previous videos, you'll know part of Accunect is our self-healing technique called self-care. But self-care in the sense of understanding where my body's at or where I'm at mentally, right? Because those make a difference as well. If I'm feeling anxious and I'm trying to do something and the anxiety is heightening, it's a compass point to see where I'm needing to maneuver slightly or shift a little bit to be able to make that more comfortable for myself. So that's what today's talk is all about, right? As you can see, this filter places me in many different segments throughout the screen, which is really interesting. I've never tried it before, so it's very interesting seeing myself all over the screen like this. But the whole purpose of it is picturing things, right? How we picture life, how we picture our filters, the way that we filter information, the way that we're going about life is generally through bits and pieces, like this exact filter, right? And the way we perceive life is generally through the perspective from which we're looking at. So if I'm looking at the one corner, then I only see a fourth of my face. If I'm looking, in other areas, then I'm only seeing my shoulder, or I'm seeing half of me, or I'm seeing my full face. So, as with the screen, this is how we perceive our realities and the things that happen to us. And it's very important to start shifting our perspective on how we view things, because we're never really seeing the full picture if we don't move our perspective to see what else is available. If we're looking at the 1 degree and continuously keep focus on that 1 degree, we'll never really see the truth of the situation until we start looking at other pieces. And then the puzzle starts being put together, right? For any of you who've ever built a massive puzzle, you'll know those pieces are scattered. And by putting the certain edges together, by placing them then fully flat on a surface and observing it from a bird's eye point of view, it then creates itself and the picture then comes forward. So that's kind of how we need to start looking at our life, right? And if you're doing that already, then that's super cool, because that means you have a tool that a lot of people don't have. And a lot of people don't know how to change perspective. So there are a few tools. You can change perspective through visualization. You can change perspective through affirmation. You can change perspective literally by changing environment, so taking a break and going away. That's why they say, change is as good as a holiday. It really is, because it changes the way we're looking at a situation, right? Getting a third person to point out something different. And when I say someone else to point out something different, try choose not people in your direct environment, since people in our direct environments tend to have very similar thoughts and perspectives about life as we do. So go to someone who isn't in your immediate circle, because that person doesn't have your experiences, they don't have your way of lifestyle, so the perspectives are very different, right? So when looking for a different perspective, go to someone with a completely different background and or living situation, because people do see things differently through their lenses depending on a variety of different external factors and internal factors. But that is what makes Accunect so beautiful when we're actually doing sessions, is that we're looking at it from your direct perspective. Sorry if my sound is super low, try your volume setting, otherwise I do know I'm holding my phone, so it might be covering the mic. So there are these shifts in perspectives that we put in with Accunect, where we're looking at it from your perspective. So we're looking at the whole picture. So we're not looking at fragments of the picture. We're not looking at cutting the picture in segments. We're looking at the body as a whole, emotionally, physically, mentally. We're looking at chakras, belief systems. We're looking at endocrines, organs with their physical attributes, their mental aspects, their consciousness issues. We're looking at emotions, memories, internal, external, right? Thanks for pointing that out. So there are a lot of things that we can then determine by changing the way we look at the body. So one of the things that we do in Accunect, which is quite different, is we go in with the perspective that the body is already amazing, right? Because it is, like, the body is absolutely incredible. It produces new cells every single second of the day. You'll know it does this because if you've ever burnt your tongue, you know that a few days later you can taste again, or a few hours later, depending on how extreme the burn on your tongue was, right? You'll know that your body heals itself because you've had scars, you've had torn muscles. If you're a person who gyms a lot and exercises a lot, your body is literally creating stronger fibers in the muscles every single time through micro tears. Okay, so the muscles are creating tiny little tears, which then rejuvenate and heal themselves to become stronger, to become better. So our bodies do incredible things already. So with Accunect, we completely look at the body from the standpoint of we already are this magnificent individual. And we're going in with the thing of what is ready to shift? Where is change ready to happen? And we look at that instead of going, yeah, you've got so many emotions going on right now, there's no cure. Like, we'll just send you to the loony bin. Grindakkies, here we come, right? Because that is exactly what a lot of people have us feeling about our life. We tend to, if we're over emotional, get labeled certain things. If we're chronically ill, we get labeled certain things. So we put labels and perspective, looking at one part of it. So we never really consider all these various other aspects that come into play as well, right? So with Accunect, that is what we do. We look at everything as a holistic approach, which means we look at the whole, not just segments of it. So that is one-on-one sessions. If you haven't seen my previous videos where I actually show you what the map looks like and how we go through my biofeedback with that, go and check out my previous videos. I will be posting my YouTube link down below. For if you've missed any of the videos, it's a fast track way to go and check up on all of the ones that you have missed already, because they're quite cool. We've discussed some awesome topics so far. So with Accunect, there is so much we can do. Physical, emotional, mental processes. How I use it for everything. I use it for my business. I use it for my relationships. There isn't anything that I don't use it for. I use it on my pets as well. So it's super cool. But the one thing that I really have been focusing on in the videos so far is not the one-on-one sessions, um, but the self-care. And why I feel it's such an important tool is because of the situation that we're currently presented with, right? We're currently presented with a fear-based mentality, which is quite legitimate. There is a serious pandemic happening globally, and that's the whole thing. We're very much aware of it. So, because we're aware of it, we're continuously in what we call a fight or flight mode, so a state of stress, where we're looking and perceiving the world through a lens of fear and worry, anxiety, and concern, right? Because now we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything, our whole routines are completely new. We're home with everyone, which is new. There's a lot of stress and tension on a lot of families and individuals about what comes next, right? So there's so much that's happening that self-care and having the tool to be able to balance your own body, because self-care is a self-healing technique, having the tools to balance your own body is the biggest investment you can make for your vitality and well-being, right? Because what we teach you is a 3-minute technique to balance all your organs, which includes their emotions, their mental state, and their physical states as well, right? And then from there, we teach you the 8 healing principles of Accunect, which is what Accunect is based off of. We teach you the MF brain, which is what I was using today. And MF brain is there to allow us to think with both sides of our mind. So we're thinking with the feminine and with the masculine, the creative, the logical, the appropriate, and the possible, etc., etc. If you want to learn more about what masculine feminine means, it's not male and female, but we do discuss more about it in Feminine Friday, which was this past Friday's video. So go and watch that one for Feminine Friday for more understanding about masculine and feminine. And the beauty of MF brain is that we then think with our whole mind. So we don't become strength in one and weaker in the other, or we're more aware of the one and less aware of the other. We're then thinking with our whole mind. And thinking with our whole mind then allows our body and our nervous system to connect to our mind, which then integrates our body, anchors it, and then through there we're able to feel and respond appropriately because our body picks up senses and energies around us continuously, and then we're able to respond appropriately to situations and external factors, internal factors, right? So there's a lot of processes that are happening in the mind and in the body continuously. So when we're balancing MF brain, we're bringing that awareness and that balance into the mind so we can think with the whole mind and ground ourselves into our body so we don't feel disconnected like we're floating in our heads, right? So there are those two of them. Hi, Eric. Eric is actually one of the people who took self-care with me before. We would love to hear what you felt about self-care. So if you loved it, put it in the comments. So self-care is really something that teaches you how to become more efficient and sustainable in your own healing practice, right? Because it's a self-healing technique. So it's super easy to do. It takes 3 minutes once you've learned the technique and become comfortable with it. So we teach you that. We teach you the MF brain. We teach you the 8 healing principles of Accunect. And we then teach you our emergency technique, which is the go-to technique for any tantrums, upsets, bruises, anything that requires attention now. Okay, so you don't have 3 minutes to do it. This is the technique to go to. Okay, so instant migraines, instant pains, hit yourself on the knee by accident in the kitchen. That would be a go-to. And that's to take us instantly out of fight or flight mode into a natural state of healing and bring focus and awareness and energy to specific points. And why we want to bring focus and awareness is because often, as with how we are as people, we can get sidetracked. So the body then becomes sidetracked with other things, right? It splits its perspective. It splits its picture into different segments, and it doesn't necessarily make it useful. So if I say, for instance, look at the current video, there are a few shots here that are completely useless because all you see is my nose and my lips. And that makes no sense, right? You want to be able to see the full picture. You want to be able to see the whole aspect, not just focusing on certain areas and cutting off other areas which are quite important. Imagine we all walked around and we only had noses and mouths. We would never be able to see anything, right? So this is exactly what we bring in more of, is we bring in that care and attention to the whole system. So we're giving it the proper cycles again, we're reminding it of what the proper cycles are, which is very important because when we're stuck in areas of perspective and pictures that are fragmented or snipped into smaller pieces, our body, like us, gets distracted and ends up then focusing completely on, say, for instance, our fight or flight mode, which then puts our body into other states of being. So it's now looking at where the danger is. It's now looking only at our senses, specifically sight, hearing, and smell, because those alert us to danger. And so then we end up getting other reactions to life, right? So hyperimmune systems then go into fatigue because now we're not breathing correctly. Now we've got digestive problems because we're not breathing. Now we've got faster heart rates the whole time. So, there's all these other ripple effects that happen. So that goes to my butterfly effect talk from yesterday. And with all of these things happening, we tend to then lose certain areas of importance. It gets distracted. So what we do is we bring awareness back and focus back to the areas that are being neglected or require more energy or require more shift to happen, and they're willing to shift. Because remember, in Accunect, we're constantly looking at areas that are ready for change. We're not going to force change. So we're looking at areas that are willing to shift, and we're bringing awareness to them so that they do. Okay, so it's literally just taking a focus point away from a certain area and giving resources more to another. It's super simple, it's super easy, and it's super important to be able to do that. So that's the toolbox of self-care in Accunect right there. So I have a class coming up this Saturday for self-care. If you're interested in learning more about how to balance your whole mind into your body and bring healing to your body, which reduces stress, which boosts immune system, which lowers stress responses and illness, like pains, etc. Like, there's a ton of stuff that self-care is actually capable of. And this just is in a 3-minute routine that you do every single day. So you add that to your toolbox of being able to do this, right? The next class is this week, Saturday, on the 18th of April from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Zoom. And it's going for 2,000 Rand. So your investment cost is 2,000 Rand. Plus, as per my previous videos, you still get the 3 one-on-one sessions with me. Online as well, and that is to customize and personalize whatever it is you're working with. So if you're wanting more abundance, then we're going to be looking at what belief systems or organs, etc., are prohibiting you from obtaining what it is you want to obtain, and we personalize your sessions for you that way. So that is the one-on-one session. So you get 3 of those worth 1,350 Rand if you take them at the special price that they're at the moment. So you're basically getting to the value of 3,350 Rand. You're getting it for 2,000 Rand for self-care this Saturday. Plus you get a manual and a certificate at the end when lockdown is completed. So those will be couriered to you. And that is to literally congratulate you on being an awesome person that has taken the step of looking after yourself, because that's really, really important, right? Like, taking care of ourselves is really important. We often think that investing our time and money in things such as family, it's important, but at the same time, we're always looking at getting better at our jobs, getting better at how we get income, right? Getting better at all these areas. And yet Our health and well-being is the first priority, because if we're unhealthy or we're in a state of dis-ease or imbalance, then we tend to not be able to enjoy the things we want to enjoy. So getting our vitality and our well-being up to par is really, really important. So you'll be able to get that with self-care. Plus you get 3 one-on-one sessions with me, which is really, really beneficial, because then we can really shortcut and cut to the chase on what it is that your body is requiring from us to shift and change to improve these other areas that you might be struggling with, whether it's physical things like backache, fibromyalgia, poor eyesight, poor memory, you name it. The list is like endless. Okay, emotional stuff, angers, sadness, depressions, anxieties. If you've been suffering with anxiety for a long time and you don't know how to overcome it, Accunect can 100% help with that. It can help with depression as well. So it's really, really versatile. It can work with specific areas where you're stumbling at, like work or relationships, getting better connections to yourself or the people around you. There's really a ton of versatile aspects that we can look at in Accunect and put in focus points for what it is you're wanting, right? So make sure to get your self-care spot, because 2,000 Rand for your self-care, plus you get those bonus 3 one-on-one sessions with me to customize your healing, right? So you're getting the empowerment of your self-care, the self-healing technique, plus 3 one-on-one with me for 2,000 Rand for this coming Saturday, 18th of April, for from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. So it's really, really cool. It's going to be super fun. So make sure to get your spot. Otherwise, if you're looking for support and you're wanting to receive an Accunect session, the lockdown prices are still 2019's prices until lockdown has ended, which is 500 Rand for an individual session, 1,350 for 3 sessions, and 2,025 Rand for your 5 session packages. So those are the prices until end of lockdown, which is going to be another 3 weeks plus or minus. So make sure to get those booked in if you're feeling like you need support. So fibromyalgia, how it can help with that is because we're bringing the body. Fibromyalgia is a, sorry, I just need to switch my phone. Fibromyalgia is a nervous system aspect, right? So because I don't know how far along her fibromyalgia is, but fibromyalgia tends to grow cysts on the end of the nervous system, which creates extreme pain and discomfort in the body. So what we end up doing with Accunect is putting the focus as fibromyalgia. We end up then bringing focus and awareness into the body, so it sends blood flow and energy to those points and resets the nervous system, because it tends to be a nervous system that is inflamed. So by depending on her personal symptoms, because she'll have a list of other symptoms as well, it wouldn't just be fibromyalgia, we would then look at where inflammation or overdrive is happening in her body, and then from there we'll bring it back into its natural state of healing. So we'll bring in cooling effects, or we'll see where the imbalances are specifically for her. If she would like to talk to me about how to personalize her sessions for her, because there are a variety of symptoms per individual that end up clustering to create certain things, she's welcome to contact me for a free consultation. A free consultation is simply where I then discuss it with her and her symptoms, since it is a very personal thing, and where we then discuss it from her personalized point of view, since every session is personalized. I've had 4 different fibromyalgia clients with massive results, where their pain threshold goes from like a 10 out of 10 to a usually 4 out of 10 down to a 2 out of 10, where they then stop booking because they're comfortable with a 2. I have had quite a few. I've had quite a few, like 1 or 2 people who've completely reduced their pain, where they don't even have fibromyalgia anymore, except for their normal flare-ups here and there. So she's welcome to contact me so we can discuss her personal procedure. So she has had it for years now, and she's always extremely tired all the time and a lot of leg pain. Okay, so once again, because we personalize the sessions, those won't be her only symptoms, and I would have to get to know her a little bit better to be able to determine where on the health map her points would come up. If it's her right leg or her left leg, it would determine certain things as well, because there's masculine and feminine in the body, etc., etc. So we would most likely start looking at her personal history, and then from there determine how and where to customize, since, like I said before, the whole purpose of Accunect is to personalize and customize the session. Each person is not the same. So none of my fibromyalgia clients have ever had the same session, and yet they have the same dis-ease, right? Why we say dis-ease is because we break it up. It's not a disease, it's dis-ease in the body, where it's not at its optimal ease of vibration or being. So cool. It's good that you shared it with her. She'll be able to then contact me, and we can then set up a consultation for her where I discuss her personal aspects. So guys, as well, today's video was supposed to announce, as per yesterday's video, we were supposed to announce the winners of the free sessions. And can you believe it? No one claimed the free sessions. So guys, that's off the table now. I have given time for everyone to go and watch those. Out of 170 views on that video, no one claimed the free session, so those are now off the table. But if you're interested in booking a session, as some of you have been messaging me, you're welcome to still book at the lockdown prices up until the end of lockdown. And make sure to get your spot in self-care, because it's your well-being as well as your families and friends that you can use this on. So it's super, super cool. If you're a practitioner, it's a great tool to add to your already increased toolbox. So make sure to book your spots. Are there any other questions? It's always the most awkward part. And I think I say that every video. But it really is. Okay, so yeah, no, okay, so if you want to, yes, you can go and claim it for your mom. Go and watch Thoughtful Thursday's video. I'll send you the link. Because there is actually an energy exchange in the video where they have to comment on why they want the session, as well as how they have changed a perspective for themselves. So there is a little bit of energy exchange there. It isn't just a claim up and grab. So I'll send you the link, and then you can go put it in there, and then she can receive that one. So thank you for stepping forward with that. I will then have you enter her in the comment section on that one, and then she can claim her. Yes, okay, she won. But first, terms and conditions apply. You have to go and watch Thoughtful Thursday, comment, like, and share on that video. So the comment on Thoughtful Thursday is why she deserves it and a perspective that has shifted. So that means after you've watched the video, you'll be able to see what I mean by perspective shift. But taking a negative aspect and shifting it into a positive viewpoint. So go and watch Thoughtful Thursday. I'll send you the link. And then yes, your mom can claim it once you have commented and liked and shared on that video. Sound cool? Cool. And then any other questions? Okay, cool. Thank you. No. Okay, so no questions. I'll send you the link for that one. And then you can go and put her in there since no one else opted for them. Super funny how no one does that. But anyway, so I hope you have and all the viewers, if you've watched this, put it in the comments that you're on the replay. We will be, we have been a bit behind in our technical stuff. Our internet has been a bit glitchy. So watch out for the group that will be forming. And if you have any topics you would love to learn more about, put it in the comments or message me directly, that we can personalize and customize your growth experience for us within the group. Since our marketing videos will be changing, we're going to be expanding and broadcasting differently across the platforms. So our YouTube channel will be a bit different to our Facebook and group channels, and all of that will be different depending on the interactions that we're receiving. So if there are specific topics that you would love to learn more about, whether it's in meditation, whether it's in law of attraction, manifestation, chakra systems, the body, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental states, give us the topics you would love to learn more about. And if you're unsure, go and watch our previous videos, because you might hear something that you're wanting to learn more about that I didn't cover. So go and check them out, go and like, share, and comment, and we'll be able to customize and personalize your learning experience and support with us here during lockdown and afterwards, depending on how lockdown has been received. So make sure to go and do that. As well, I actually am a business, so go and like Asana Healing. I'll be putting the link in the bottom so that you can actually go and like my business page. I've been using my personal page for the videos, but all of that will be changing as well as we shift over more to our business page. And then you can also see what we've been up to in the past, because we have actually had quite a few cool things happen. So go and make sure to watch that. If you're catching the end of this video, as I see a lot of viewers are now popping in, this was all about how different perspectives are seen and how we perceive things in fragments and segments, and how to change that. So you can change your perspective through visualization, other tools, etc. But the biggest way to bring a whole experience is in learning how to use the tools available, such as MF Brain, which connects the whole mind to be able to view things as a whole instead of in fragments, right? And instead of putting specific pressure on specific points, we're bringing awareness to the whole body. So go and watch the rest of the video if you've just tuned in. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is quite an exciting journey during the whole video thing. So as many of you don't know, I actually am not a professional videographer or whatever they're called. So these are quite a learning experience. So if there are any topics where you feel you'd like to know more about, or there's content that you feel I haven't explained properly, please do comment or message me so that we can expand and grow and customize and personalize all these videos to what it is you require. And the support that you need right now is very, very important to us. So if there are no questions, then I will be jumping off on this. Today's a Monday, but it didn't feel like a Monday, it felt like a Sunday. So today seems like a motivational Monday, so we'll go with motivational Monday, and have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Go and watch our replays and enjoy. Bye bye.